Everyone, happy Wednesday, hump day, March 8th. Um, we got a good show today. We got some fun articles. I like what we've got in store. And the Discord continues to crank. I've not been in there this morning, but yesterday seemed to be an active day. Let me add Doug here. We'll talk a little bit about the goings on there, and then we'll jump into the content that we've got set for today. Adding Doug now. Little delay. There he is. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Matt. How's it going?
Going really well. Going well. Happy to be doing the show again, halfway through the week today. So that's good. I like that. The Discord yesterday, I said something like, we're pretty confident there aren't problems now. It turned out people were still having problems joining with the link. And then I realized Discord links, I guess, expire because the link that I get in there to share changed. And they're supposed to be good for 7 days, but it seemed like ours was good for way less than that. So anyway, you updated it. So if you keep trying nomadeathlete.com/Discord, you should be able to get in. But let us know if you're not. Just DM us on Instagram, Plant-Based Morning Show, and then we can update it and all that. Or I can personally send you the link, as I did for 3 VIPs yesterday who texted me.
It's booming in there, man. There's like 55, 60 people that are members. I don't know if everybody has that view that we do or not, but there's a lot of people in the Discord. It's growing all the time. Several new people this morning. I just love I love seeing a lot of people calling out that they're podcast listeners that have always wanted to attend live and miss out on the chat. So they're excited to do this because this is really what this is all about, is kind of connecting everyone who's listening in different ways. Because, we already had the chat. We already had the community that was attending live. So it's awesome to kind of be able to branch that out a little bit. I'm really stoked about it. It's been active this morning. It was active last night.
Yep.
We got some improvements coming with different threads and different channels.
So I don't know if I like this thread thing. I see Mr. Jeffries starting threads all over, and they're kind of messing with my Discord vibe because I don't know how to use them. Any Discord I've ever been in, and I've been in dozens, I've never seen threads used. So I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. What do you think, Doug?
I think we need to build out the channels. I think it makes a lot more sense for us to have. There's been some suggestions around fitness channels, and Bianca suggested a cat or an animal channel where you could kind of post your pets.
Yep, that'd be good.
Love that. I think I think we build out the channel list a little bit more and then see how the threads come. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out this myself.
All I do is type in the names of the channels. It's not really a build out per se. Look, pets done. Made the pets channel.
Oh man, you're so good. This is
made the fitness
doing
channel.
It live. I love it.
Channels are at it. They're not pretty. I didn't put emojis next to them yet, but they're there. So type in those, please.
All right.
Yeah. So that's good. It's good, and it's growing. It's just as I want it to be. It's not like we had 1 billion people go in the first day and you can't keep up and there's 100 problems. I mean, we had some problems, but this is good. It's all the regulars are in there. Some people who I don't know, like podcast listeners, are getting in there. Just I'm good with the pace of growth.
I would definitely agree with that, but I do want to encourage people to share it with their veg curious friends, or for people to kind of share it themselves, because I have a vision of this being thousands of people one day in the not so distant future, and I would love to see it kind of get to a place where once we've built out the threads, or the channels, once we kind of have things going, that this becomes this community of people that is way beyond what we're reaching on these lives.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if this Discord actually offers a way for it to grow. I don't know if it will, because Discord is still like a commitment for people to go sign out and figure out. We can get listed in like Discord, directories and all that stuff, and maybe get found that way. I don't know how much that really happens, but I just kind of worry about that again with the spammers and all that. But it'd be cool if people said, "Hey, we're in this cool, plant-based group," and it wasn't even like it's about a show, just this like good group of people sharing information and sharing stuff, and then people just sort of indirectly get to the show. That'd be good. So hopefully it'll be good like that. But again, let us know. Keep the suggestions coming. Well, I shouldn't say keep them coming, because I don't know if there have been any yet.
There have been a couple.
A few. Okay, I haven't been there this morning. Good. Okay, yeah, keep those coming. We will respond to those and things. Yeah, good. All right. Anything else, Doug? What else is new in your world? Quesadillas last night or anything like that?
No, I didn't have quesadillas. I made, or Katie made. All right. Well, we tag teamed it. She started it. I finished it. We were making it's like, I think from Oshigo, I think it's called the Empowered Bowl, but it's basically just it's supposed to be like soba noodles and a bunch of veggies and beans and then like a peanut sauce over top. But we had made all the veggies and boiled the water and thought we had soba noodles and we didn't. So I just used some bonza pasta. Went on adjusted it a little bit to make it work, and it was actually quite good. It was very good. That sauce, man. Peanut sauce is my jam. I could eat peanut sauce all day, every day.
Yeah, peanut sauce is good. And peanuts are good for you, we've determined, thanks to a helpful article from I think eatthis.com. We've got another eatthis.com up today. I like these sites that are I don't know what they are. I mean, you almost think of them as like dumbed down kind of content, just because like you're not going to find any mind-blowing in-depth tips, but they just, I don't know, they're good for this show.
Our dumbed down show.
Yeah. All right, back to this really quick. I see people in the suggestion. Someone, I think just today maybe, said that I posted this picture of a cup of beans because I measured it yesterday. I think because I was curious, and then I thought, well, I'll post this in Discord because it will be helpful to people to see what a cup of beans, which is what you're supposed to eat according to Blue Zone's author Dan Buettner every day, just to see what that looks like. But apparently, I put it in the fitness thread. And
there's a fitness thread?
Well, a fitness thread that Mr. Jeffrey started yesterday.
Oh, thread. Oh, yeah, I got you.
A thread, and I just posted it because that's how I use Discord. I don't know how to operate with these threads in there. I just put some at the bottom of the screen, and I assume that's going to go in the channel. If that goes in the thread, I can't blame myself. I can only blame the person who started the thread. So I don't apologize for that.
Okay. Well, I think channels are going to be the way to go. This is we're going to have some growing pains, no doubt about it, but we'll get there. And I'm highly caffeinated today or highly rested. I don't know. I got a lot of energy, and then I was stoked on the Discord this morning, so I'm feeling
good,
very positive.
Well, we've got some content about resting and caffeine together, and odd bedfellows perhaps, but
yes,
it's a trend. So we'll talk about that in a minute. All right. Anything else? Whoops! Before we get into,
it's International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to the women out there listening and watching. I thought I would highlight a woman that I've learned a lot about in the last maybe year or two, thanks to my daughter. Mary Anning. Mary Anning. Do you know Mary Anning?
You don't know Mary Anning.
She was really the first paleontologist, but certainly the first woman paleontologist over in Ireland. Discovered a bunch of dinosaur bones and kind of started off that whole industry, that whole what do you call it? Scientific. Oh man, my brain is not functioning. Turns out I'm not as caffeinated as I thought. Area of science. Anyway, I think she's a fascinating woman and has a fascinating story about being passed up because she was a woman and the discoveries she made and not getting credit for. Highly interesting.
Like an Irish Miyoko, like a Miyoko of the old time, because she's angry now about her. Sounds like the same situation, right?
I don't know if I quite say that, but
no.
But maybe there's some similarities. I think that the whole idea that women are overlooked or not given credit for what they have accomplished, there's definitely some similarities there.
Mm-hmm.
But Mary Anning, check her out.
Mary Anning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that. All right. Good. Yeah, nothing else. I don't think I have any other updates or anything. Yeah, nothing really new with fitness or food, but it all just keeps happening.
All right, let's get into the weather report.
All right, here we go. Big news. It's finally here. Well, actually, no, let me save that one for a minute. First, Impossible Foods has introduced Beef Light, a leaner version of its plant-based beef alternative. This is from Veg News. I think this is from Veg Economist, and they're saying it is, quote, better than lean ground animal beef. Contains 21 grams of protein, 75% less saturated fat, 45% less total fat than 90-10 lean beef from cows. So that's kind of the good, as I recall, the 93-7 or 90-10. That was the expensive stuff with little fat, a lot of protein, good source of fiber, free of cholesterol, trans fats, all these things. So you recommended in tacos, Doug. So that would be perfect for your household.
Would be,
if you're okay with using it. Now, here's my problem with this. In Forks Over Knives, T. Colin Campbell talked about how, milk and the protein in milk is the problem. And then they're making these reduced fat milks, which means now 100% of the calories in the milk, not 100, but a lot more of the percent of the calories in milk are the problem calories, the casein. I've kind of got that problem here because with these meats, it was coconut oil, which definitely wasn't a good thing. It was a saturated fat. I shouldn't say definitely not a good thing. A lot of people would say it's a bad thing. So now they're getting rid of that, and what is left is basically just the pea protein, and it's, I think, textured pea protein. And I worry a little bit about that. So to me, is this healthier or less healthy than the other Impossible beef? I don't know. Can't really say for sure. I'm sour on these processed vegan meats. If you can't tell,
I can tell.
I have serious concerns about long-term health of them.
I think there's going to be a turning point when you start grilling a little bit or doing some sort of cookouts this summer. I think you're gonna come back into the vegan meat world. But I don't know. I would try this. Makes me.
Yeah, I'd try it for sure. And in fact, sometimes when I cook these things, I do end up dumping a lot of the pan grease out because it just seems like so much. So that's probably basically the same thing. I just won't have to do that anymore. So yeah, it's all right. I'm not too excited, but not too upset. Here's the one I am kind of excited about. For some reason, the Reese's plant-based is here. It's happening. It's been spotted on Rite Aid shelves and Target shelves, and I think they made an announcement yesterday. I'm not totally clear on the details, but it sounds to me like they made an announcement saying it is coming, and it'll be like this month. Expected to roll out this month, says Veg News, and I think that's based on the announcement they said. They're also making the Hershey's plant-based extra creamy with almonds and sea salt. That'll be widely released in April. These vegan versions will cost more, according to, I think it was The Guardian. Let's see. Rite Aid lists a 1.4 ounce package of the 2 peanut butter cups for $2.49, which is about $1 more than you'd pay for the regular cups. I'm okay with that for the plant-based, extra effort they're making to produce that product and the rarity with which I would buy this. That's okay. Hershey's will have a similar premium for the organic version, which I think just means for their oat version of this food. And then the calories are about the same. There's no real health difference here. I mean, maybe a health difference, but not in the form of less calories, fewer calories. So, this is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if I'll have it all that much. I'll definitely try those peanut butter cups. But it's just cool that this is happening. I don't know that like such a mainstream thing is available.
I am stoked on the peanut butter cups, just because I love peanut butter cups. So, I don't think we'll buy them very often, but definitely a treat when you're kind of looking for something fun and special. Right. I could see myself doing that for sure around the holidays, or I'm sorry, Halloween, I guess. The like, do they call it milk chocolate? What are they calling this? Creamy chocolate bar?
Yeah, I think so.
That doesn't sound nearly as appealing to me. I like a year or so ago, I have no idea what the brand is, but had like a vegan milk chocolate bar that was kind of that creamy, what I picture a Hershey's bar being.
Right. Well, Aaron reminded me, Hershey's for a little while made an oat milk bar. I think it was sort of a test thing.
Oh, they did.
And that was that. You can get a Hershey bar vegan. So maybe that's what you're talking about. I don't know.
It might have been, but I did like, it was like too creamy. It didn't have that like bite that I think we've all become accustomed to when you eat dark chocolate.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for it much. So much more excited about the peanut butter cups than the bar.
I think you're right about that. I definitely didn't like dark chocolate when I was a kid at all. I hated it. I thought it was awful. Like in Halloween, you get those Hershey's special dark little bars. That was just like throwaway. Don't eat it. But then once I got older and maybe being restricted without being able to have milk chocolate anymore, and there weren't vegan options really other than getting dark chocolate, it started to really like it. And that happened at the same time as I've, moved down this hole of or this path
Yeah.
of not liking sweet foods. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of had the same feeling. Like when I go back and try these plant-based milk chocolates, it's like to me they're just too sweet, is what it is. You're saying too creamy. I think they're just kind of like sweeter than I really like now. So I don't know. There is that problem. Now here's another thing. I mean, like at the Whole Foods checkout, you can always get those Justin's peanut butter cups, and aren't they, essentially
Yeah.
clones of Reese's?
Yeah, and I never get them. Yeah.
I don't either, and they
Uh-huh.
taste more or less the same. Maybe they taste a little bit more dark chocolate flavored, and which in theory would make them a little better. So yeah, I don't know why I'm excited about the Reese's. I guess it's just nostalgia.
Has
'Cause
to
I don't
be.
ever buy the Justin stuff.
Yep.
All right, so that's that. More serious news, serious medical news here. Eating a plant-based low-carb diet significantly associated with lower risk of premature death among people with type 2 diabetes, according to a new study published in the medical journal Diabetes Care. This is from Veg News, and they said 24% reduction in all-cause mortality among those adhering to a low-carb diet. The health benefits were stronger for low-carb diets that emphasize plant-based foods and high-quality carb foods such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So, to package that in the headline, eating a plant-based low-carb diet is significantly associated, that's fine. It's sort of not saying the main point, which is that eating a low-carb diet is what's associated, and plant-based is a little better. So, Veg News is gonna Veg News. That's what I've decided. They're gonna spin it their way, and that's okay. That's what they do. After the success of Meat Out Day 2022, New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced it will return March 20th of this year. That's only 12 days away, folks. So if you're in New York City and you're listening to this and you're not yet plant-based, you should prepare to be on that day, because you are encouraged to not eat animal products that day. And finally, a new study published in Nature Medicine found that the sugar alternative erythritol is associated with an increased risk of heart issues and strokes. Apparently, our bodies do produce some of it, but it's increasingly found in processed foods, especially sugar-free products, and even some toothpaste. And the details are, if you have more erythritol in your system, you have a higher chance of having a stroke, heart attack, or dying within 3 years, and increased risk of blood clots in mice and human blood samples. I checked my toothpaste, which I think is like Colgate, the red package. Does not have that, but it had saccharin in it, which saccharin I know is associated with cancer in lab rats. So that was worse, actually. I'd rather have the heart disease risk than that. But it made me think I need to find a toothpaste that doesn't have that in there.
Good to know.
No comments on erythritol. You don't need any sugar-free foods, do you? Sugar-free gum, sugar-free Trident.
No.
I never chew gum anymore. I don't know anyone who chews gum. Any self-respecting adult who chews gum, I just have no time for you.
Yeah, I never chew gum either. Everyone's on pop of mint.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. But chew gum, you just gotta have them. You just keep chewing on, and it adds sugar or fake sugar into your body. You just extract it over time.
Did you ever do the big red forehead?
I don't think so. What is that?
Either the metal tin wrapper or whatever that goes around the stick of gum.
Right.
It's covered in the cinnamon or whatever, is in big red. You
okay.
lick it and then you stick it to your forehead, and it will leave your forehead red for 2 hours. This big rectangle on your forehead.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, we used to do that all the time.
I definitely made a little goblet or rose out of the foil wrapper, where you wrap it around your finger and then twirl the end of it, and you get a nice little goblet. You can fill it with water and take a little sip of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gum. I don't know. My kids get into gum every now and then.
Yeah, but Neil, I think you've offended Neil here. Ouch! I chew gum most of the day.
Well, sorry, Neil. You got to lose that habit.
This was actually something that someone mentioned in Discord today. If Matt makes fun of you, then it's a sign of affection. So if you haven't been offended by Matt yet, then then
good.
You're doing something wrong, I think. So
I hope I'm not offensive. I don't try to be inflammatory.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
All right.
I'm totally joking.
All right.
I do. So what is it called? Meat Out Day. I think that was something Steven said was happening where he is right now, which is cool. And it reminded me of just looking. I didn't know what it was, but reading your notes here, a proclamation for the second year. All roughly 8.8 million New York City residents are encouraged to go without animal products for the day. I read residents as restaurants, so I was going to make a comment about restaurants, but
that's like one restaurant per person.
But DC used to have a veg restaurant week or vegetarian restaurant week or something.
I remember that,
where they would get a bunch of restaurants to add vegetarian and vegan options to their menu for a week, and kind of publicize those, encourage people to go to those restaurants and try different veg options from restaurants. Some of them had vegetarian and vegan options to begin with, but some of them, were maybe some higher end restaurants or some restaurants that didn't typically cater to that crowd. And I used to love that. And so I think that's a cool thing. This is Meat Out Day. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, hopefully the restaurants do get involved with that. The article didn't say if they would or not, but Asheville has that as well. It's like, I don't know what it's called, vegan restaurant week or something. And they would not only have they'd have a certain amount of list of restaurants, and it would be publicized which ones were participating. They'd all be making one single dish that was like their entry into the thing, and then they would have voting to see who was the winner. So it was a nice added element, and it was good. We had some really good food. We got to go to some places that we normally wouldn't go to eat their vegan thing. Yeah, I remember it being pretty good.
Very cool.
So I like that idea. I think they were also associated with that with some sort of donation system, where every time you got your bill, they would sort of encourage you or make it easy for you to also donate some share of it to whatever the charity was related to that. I think it was Brother Wolf Animal Rescue at the time. Anyway, yeah, good. So Meat Out Day, March 20th.
Cool.
Day before the first day of spring. Actually, that'd be a nice day to go out, eat an outdoor meal, al fresco dining, I think they call it, and get a nice plant-based meal.
There you go. We have another person from Twitch today, not our normal person, Fluffy Tiger Cat.
Okay. Wonder if the Twitch people, Twitch people are probably all about the Discord, right? I mean, that's like their native social media platform.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. They're gamers, gamers on Twitch, gamers in Discord.
Mm-hmm. One comment here. We'll stop talking about the Discord eventually, maybe. Although it's Mr. Jeffrey says, on a serious note, I was just trying to keep the conversations together and easy to access. I'm not married to the idea of threads.
Good. So, okay. And you know what? In fairness, I'm not married. I'm not against them. I am against them. I'm not married to this idea of being against them. If it turns out it works, then great. It's just unfamiliar to me and caused me to put beans in the fitness thread. And I don't know.
I think he's right about the problem of the general channel being too chaotic with the more people that come in. So that's why these new channels are going to be important. So
I think you're right. I think some channels is good. But remember, chaotic also means activity. It means people in the same place talking. And the way these things die is when there's not activity. So you spread it out too much and it's not going to be good. All right. So here we go. Let's see what we got today. We got 3 today. I think we've got time to hit them because they're all pretty quick. And they basically go from serious to less serious as we go. But they don't get too goofy here. I skipped the best life online. What's the best pet for your zodiac sign article? That just shows my dedication to the seriousness of this content. I kept that out. That did not make the cut for the show.
It probably will on Friday. We have nothing else to do. So.
Very, very possible. It's in the maybe list. Okay,
right, so I'm throwing this first article up on YouTube here.
Okay, good. This is science here. It's the effect of single plant-based versus animal-based meals on satiety and mood. This is from medicalexpress.com. Medical with just an X in Express, not EX. So loss of credibility right there from the URL. Anyway, they wanted to see what effect plant-based meals versus animal-based meals. What do they have on mood and satiety? Like, what's the difference between the two? Is there a difference? Because you hear that a lot with plant-based. This complaint that like I never feel full, so I feel like I need to eat all the time. And I don't really know if they measured what exactly that statement is saying, because a lot of times that statement to me just means you digest this food pretty quickly, largely because it's not that calorically dense often. And then you're hungry again, 3 hours later. So you might end up snacking more in the day or eating more meals. I don't know. It happens. And that's one of the suggestions I give to people who are new to plant-based and they say that they're hungry a lot. I just say eat more frequently. Anyway, what they're measuring here, though, is I think like just how people felt immediately after the meal and how they felt before. They got 16,300 adults participated in 400 university cafeterias across Germany, used an app. They put emojis to show how they were feeling and rated the dishes based on taste. What did we say? Meal intake generally led to higher satiety and better mood. Not surprisingly there. If you eat the food, you're going to be more satisfied and your mood will be better because you just ate. But regardless of whether it was vegetarian, vegan, or meat, so those who chose a plant-based meal reported a slightly better mood before the meal, which I don't know if that meant they're plant-based people and they're just in a better mood.
Yeah, they did. It seemed to 45% were vegetarian or vegan. That's the meals. That's the
meals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't really know if like these are people who, I mean, you have to imagine that the person choosing the meal, well, I don't know. Because if people chose, if 45% of like the meals that were chosen were vegetarian or vegan, I don't think people would choose that if that's not how they ate. I mean, you just typically wouldn't, I don't think.
Yeah.
So they don't really tell you how they chose the people or anything like that. But perhaps it could be that like once you had chosen a plant-based meal, you found yourself in a better mood as a result of having made what you thought was a healthy choice or a ethical choice or whatever. So anyway, the people who chose plant-based meals, they were in a better mood, slightly better, and they had a small increase in mood. No, they were in a better mood before, and a smaller increase in mood after the meal compared to individuals who chose an animal-based meal. So that means the animal-based people, their mood actually jumped a little bit more after their meal compared to the plant-based people. But the plant-based people had the higher.
They started at a lower.
Start.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know who nets out as best mood, do we?
No, we don't. I mean, I think we should just skip to the conclusion here because there's
not much difference.
which is overall, we did not find profound effects of plant-based versus animal-based on how do you say
satiety.
that? Satiety or mood. The data showed that the meals chosen in the cafeteria, 55% were animal-based, 45% vegetarian or vegan, and demand for plant-based dishes in German canteens, therefore, is very high. However, the palatability and protein content of plant-based dishes should be further improved. I don't know where they got that from, but
well, they did say that people who, if you ate a poor tasting dish, post-meal hunger increase and mood decrease. So if you rated a dish as not tasting good, your mood went down. They don't say whether the plant-based, if that was often the case. It sort of implies that with that last thing. The protein content should be further improved, I guess, because they said a little more protein did increase satiety.
Yeah.
So this is an odd statement to say that these things should be improved. I don't know if that's fair. So anyway, kind of interesting. I mean, no huge difference really between plant-based and animal-based foods, depending on as far as satiety goes. So I guess that's good.
Well, which I guess is important, right? Because you think of people, who maybe are animal-based, people thinking, oh, that salad will never fill me up. That vegan meal would never fill me up.
Right.
Or never. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's good to know, I guess.
Yeah. It'd be nice if plant-based made you more satisfied than meat.
Yeah, right. I mean, of course, we want the results to, more satisfied. You end up happier. You have better sex. You
smarter. Yep. Everything. Live longer.
You're smarter. You have more friends. All those things.
Actually, they said the opposite of that. They said plant-based meals were much more often eaten alone than the meat meals were. It does.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, and that may have been associated with the increase in mood, or was associated. Right? It may have been the cause of the increase. The larger increase in mood you got from eating an animal-based dish was that you ate alone when you were plant-based.
Oh boy, that's loners.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. My mood, I don't think would go up if I had like a crowd of random experiment people around me eating. I'd rather eat by
Well, I don't
myself
think
than that.
I don't think you are random experiment people. You're probably eating with your friends, right? You're just reporting it in the app.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's right. Okay. All right. On to the next. This is the one we talked about with the energy and caffeine together. This is from Best Life Online. How drinking coffee can make your naps more effective, according to experts. And this is a weird article. I have heard this before as like in the sleep hacks category. People say if you're going to take a nap, the best length of a nap is like 25 minutes or something. If you go longer than that, you end up hurting your nighttime sleep and you end up with this drowsy feeling. One of the worst feelings in the world is waking up from like a 2-hour nap. It just feels
I would
terrible.
agree with that.
And so if you actually drink the caffeine before your nap begins, it would wake you up within something like 45 minutes because it takes a little while for that caffeine to kick in. I always feel like when I drink coffee, the caffeine kicks in within 10 minutes. Like from the time I smell it, I feel like I'm like more awake. But apparently it takes 30 to 45 minutes. So if you drink it before your nap, then take your nap, manage to fall asleep before it kicks in, then it'll be like a little alarm clock for you. You also could just set an alarm clock, by the way. That would work as well. But anyway, there's more to it though. This is I guess, a new trend. I mean, I don't fully understand it. It says, when you drink coffee before falling asleep, the caffeine prevents your brain from absorbing adenosine, a naturally occurring neurotransmitter in your body that causes sleepiness. So I don't think that's related to the nap part. I think that's just when you drink caffeine, that happens, right? It's partly why caffeine wakes you up. It makes you feel awake. It prevents you from absorbing the sleepiness chemical. In turn, a short nap can increase caffeine's energizing effects by increasing caffeine receptor availability in your brain. Therefore, coffee naps may boost energy more than just drinking coffee or sleeping. So I don't know. I just don't fully understand the mechanism here. But I don't know. And there's honestly not a whole lot more research than that. Do you gather anything else here, Doug, that this is a thing to be doing?
No, not like from the science behind it. Caffeine masks sleepiness signals to the brain. When you're awake, caffeine and adenosine are in direct competition. Therefore, napping clears the adenosine away, making more caffeine receptors available.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you can get a bigger caffeine buzz by having just taken a nap, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's good. The problem with caffeine though is like, right, that buzz isn't like free energy. It's borrowed energy. You will pay it back later in some form or another. So if you just sort of increase the power of the buzz, you probably also increase, whatever the payback is later. Yeah. So
but you're getting a little bit through the nap as well. You're kind of jump starting your wake up. Okay, so I will say I don't really understand the science here, but I love this because this is my favorite weekend activity is to drink some coffee and then go take a nap. And Katie makes fun of me for it because they seem to be in conflict with each other. But my favorite thing is to have some coffee like late morning. If I wake up early to run or to be with the girls or do something, late morning, have some coffee, lay down for a 15-minute nap. I always set my alarm 15, 20 minutes. Never more than 20. And I wake up feeling so good. And so I thought that was weird, but apparently coffee naps are a thing, according to this article. So I was really excited about this one.
Yeah. I've felt that feeling before too, that sometimes when you drink coffee, I actually sometimes feel like a tired effect. And I don't know when it is, if it's because when I've gotten up early and then have coffee later in the day or something, which sounds like what you're talking about. There are times when it makes me feel like makes me tired and I want a nap. And I don't know if it's like the ramping up of energy that actually fatigues you in some way. I don't know, but I have felt that feeling before. My problem with it is like, I guess that works where you're still having your morning coffee and then taking a nap, but you've gotten up early enough that you want a nap and you've done enough activity that you actually want a nap. If I'm going to take a nap, usually it's probably like 2 p.m. Just when I'm like really struggling, usually as a result of a bad sleep. If I had a coffee then,
Right. Yeah,
I'd
that'd
be
be too
very
late.
concerned about that impact
Mhm.
on my sleep later. And then they say with naps, right? Like even naps can impact your sleep later, and they often don't recommend them much later than that at all. You shouldn't, because you're going to disrupt the next night's sleep. So I don't know. This to me was sort of a, unless this just happened accidentally. Like I said, have some coffee and then feel tired. Um, I don't know. I just don't think I would. My sleep is so messed up. I just worry about messing up cycles and
Yeah.
things.
So afternoon naps, I think there's some challenges with that, like you said, in general, and same with coffee. But that late morning, that 11:30, late morning nap is to me the ideal time to take a nap.
Hmm.
If you've been up and active and doing something before then, and this coffee nap seems to work really well for me. I'm gonna pause for a second and call out this headline. If you're looking at YouTube, what happens when your body when you stop drinking coffee for a month, comma,
Yeah.
doctors say. Like, what does doctors say?
It's what they put. They always put it at the end of their headlines. It's one of their
Oh,
things.
that's their thing.
They always say, according to doctors at the end, or doctors say.
Okay. Yeah, it makes no sense. But I would like to read the article. So there are some tips here in here before we move on, which I think we probably
Okay.
should. It's never take a nap longer than 30 minutes. And then if you're drinking the coffee, it's recommended to drink a cup of coffee 10 minutes before taking a 15 to 30-minute nap. The ideal length of the coffee nap is 20 minutes. It should be taken at least 6 hours before bedtime. There you go. Taking it too long or too short coffee nap, won't efficiently increase energy and alertness and can have the opposite effect.
There you go.
So there you go. I was doing it perfectly.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Sounds
Coffee
like
nap.
it. Good. Good. I mean, did not know that you did that, but it's interesting to hear that you do and
Mm-hmm.
that it works. Not just one of these trends that is made up. It's a real thing,
It
and
works for
people are
me.
doing it.
Yeah.
You got to start blogging it or tweeting it or something.
I
So that
should. I had no idea. I really thought it was kind of a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Have some coffee and have it on the bedside table, and wake up, take another sip, and you're ready to play.
Yeah. I like it. Okay. Good. All right. On to the last article of the day. This one's kind of easy, and I like this one because I agree with all of it. It's from Eat This, Not That. 2 days in a row, we've used articles from them. I've added them to the bookmarks of research-worthy sites for each day. 5 exercise habits that are destroying your body after 50. And when I see after 50, I think, is that going to be a little out of our audience's, the range of our target audience? I don't think so. We think we have a lot of 50-year-olds in here. And actually, as I read these, I thought this is what, when I turned 40, I started thinking this way. And I don't know if it's a result of just hearing that I was turning 40 and the number, or if it was how I started feeling. But I started to really value mobility and things like that, just because I don't know. I don't want to get injured. Like, I hate getting injured at being older. It's just not good. And you can imagine the death spiral where you get injured more, so you stop moving, and then you get injured even more because you're not moving, and then soon enough you're just bedridden. So this is what to do, how you should be doing it, and these are the big mistakes. Number 1, you're avoiding the weight room. So we need weight training. You can't just be a runner. I'm trying to tell Erin this, and she believes it, but she has a shoulder injury that probably happened because she was only running. I mean, I don't know for sure, but it's hard. I like to think that it would have been prevented had she was doing a little bit of exercise, or weight training. So I don't know. I wanted this because I for a long time was just a runner, and I feel like now I'm in better shape than, even though I'm not in the same aerobic shape. I don't know. So I definitely agree with this. What about you, Doug? You're still a serious runner. You've added some strength training.
Yeah, I just have no interest in going to the gym with any regularity. It's never been something that I've got into as much as I tried in college and even tried a few years ago. Really gave it a solid effort.
When you say going to the gym, you mean literally going to the gym, or you mean just doing strength training?
Well, I don't like going to the gym to be part of the weight room, right? Like doing some heavy lifting outside of just the kettlebells and stuff that I have now. But so the kind of what has worked for me, what has stuck for me over the last couple of years, is having a little bit of weights around to be able to do some I don't want to say easy weight strength training, but some low effort strength training like the pull-up stuff that I'm working on now, like some kettlebells that I was, we would do for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. But this kind of like leg day, arm day, chest day, back day, where you're just kind of blasting your different parts of your body, I've never been able to get into that.
Yeah, but you are, they say you're avoiding the weight room. I think what they mean is you're avoiding strength training, you're avoiding weight training. And so any amount of that stuff, I think, is you're in agreement here. So I don't think you need to go to the gym. But yeah, so that
actually, the physical effect of being in the gym around other people, I think is what they're going for.
could be that. Anyway, they recommend that weight should feel heavy relative to your current strength, a low number of repetitions, and this person recommends to all his or her 50-year-old and older clients that they perform sets of 6 to 12 reps using a weight that leaves 1-2, I think there's a typo here, it says 1-2 repetitions in the tank after the first set. I think it maybe means 1 to 2. I'm not sure. And I don't really know what they mean even by the whole sentence. I mean, I get what in the tank means, but after the first set, I don't know what that means. Like after your first set, you could have done 1 or 2 more, and then what happens after that? You rest, and then you're going to failure, or then you should keep leaving them in the tank. We don't know. But I'm very much in agreement these days. I shouldn't say I'm in agreement. The people who I am influenced by these days preach this idea that we should not be training to failure. And this isn't just for 50-year-olds. This is for anyone. Now there are exceptions, I'm sure, elite athletes who are, trying to be at the top, best of the world, whatever. But I think I trained for way too many years thinking if you're not training to failure, then, you're leaving it in the gym. You should be, exhausting yourself if you're going to spend the time on the workout. I don't think that's true anymore. I think that leads to burnout and injury and also just maybe less results because it's just too hard. You're not enough recovery. So I usually train in like the 60 to 80% of what I could do that day for that very set. So you get a workout, but it's just not exhausting. And I think you can keep that up for a long time.
For what it's worth, I think the same goes for, any sort of running, endurance training, cycling, whatever. If you're going out there, even if you're only going out 3 times a week, but if you're just like going to your max every time, that is not good for sustainability and injury prevention and that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
even though you want to take it, if you're going to dedicate 45 minutes to run, you want to finish it and feel like you're totally wiped. Like I understand the appeal to that, but probably not good in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly can't do it every day, and this goes for the gym too. Like, you certainly can't go that hard every day. Where I'm sort of, and I kind of always agreed with that. Like, you have to, if you're going to try to do something nearly every day, you got to be dialing it back. I now really am of the mind that, like, even if you're hitting each muscle group like twice a week or even once, you should not be going all out every time. It should be, once a month you're maybe putting in that max effort workout. No, it's not really my opinion. It's what these people I read have said. So I think it's good. It's definitely added to the sustainability for me of working out. Just avoids the mental burnout. All right, number 2, you're skipping mobility work. That's mistake number 2. Self-explanatory here. They're talking about yoga, not passive stretching, but they do say both have benefits. 30 to 60 minutes of mobility activities 3 times per week in conjunction with your weight training for maximum benefits. And when they say mobility, they mean yoga, massage, foam rolling, stretching, and any other activities that incorporate some form of stretching or elongation of the muscles. I think this is really important. I've kind of fallen off it a little bit. So yeah, I should do more than I did earlier in this year. But I think it's important. I really do. I think keeping
30 to 60 minutes 3 times a week, that's a lot of mobility on top of other workouts.
The reason that I think like that is kind of doable is you could, if you have like TV time in the evening, you really can do that during it. It's not as relaxing as just sitting there on the couch doing nothing, scrolling through your phone. But you feel good while you're doing it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, 60 minutes 3 times a week is a whole lot, but 30 minutes 3 times a week or 15 minutes almost every day, you could get that done. But I agree with you. That is a lot. Be nice if you could sort of get it like incorporate it right in your workout. So like during your rest periods, maybe you're getting on the foam roller or something. I don't know. But I do think it's important. It's a good thing to do. All right, number 3. I love this one. You're focusing too much on isolation movements. Again, one of those sort of myths, like from the college lifting days, which when a lot of my lifting was, it was all about like you isolate the muscle group, and it's not a good exercise if it doesn't isolate the muscle group. You don't want one muscle group to fail and then prevent the other one from getting its work in. So like pull-ups, therefore, would be considered a bad exercise for biceps because it's not isolating those biceps the way curls would. Similarly, squats or deadlifts would be a bad leg exercise compared to the hamstring curl or the leg extension on the machine. But that's totally wrong. It doesn't make sense at all to isolate. It just doesn't have any real like practical use. I mean, I guess
unless you're like bodybuilding and trying to.
That's what it is. If you're a bodybuilder and you want to hit one muscle without hitting another, right, to get the balance perfect or whatever in the way your muscles look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's just there's no reason to do this. Thankfully, now I don't like CrossFit a whole lot. I don't like that mindset. Too many injuries, in my opinion, and just too much to failure. Really, is what that is. I do think what they've done a really good job of is help people understand that like functional movements are what are important, and isolation is stupid. So, way to go, CrossFit, for that.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, you're only walking on stable surfaces. That is a mistake. And I mean, I guess it's stable is a weird way to word that. I think it's good to be on stable surfaces, right? You don't want to fall if you're over 50. I think what they mean is like you're walking on
smooth, flat.
Right. You're not walking on uneven surfaces. You're walking on even surfaces.
Yes.
And what you want is variety, and you have a little bit of work to keep your balance and things like that. So, go trail running, take your shoes off and get on a nice trail if you can avoid cuts and things.
Mm-hmm.
Sand, trails, rocky terrain, other unpaved surfaces. This to me says Blue Zones fitness. This is how Blue Zones people like to work out, or at least, live their life. And then it turns out it's a workout within their life. So yeah, Doug, I mean, I'm sure your pseudonym is Rock Creek Runner. Of course you're going to like this.
This is my jam. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I honestly, like, I think that it's been instrumental into keeping me basically injury-free, running injury-free for, ever since for the last 10 years, probably, with any significant injury is the fact that most of my running, not all of it, but a lot of it, less now. But when I was doing really much higher mileage, was on dirt and on trails, which added a lot of extra strength in your stability muscles. Of course, is maybe a little lower impact than pavement, but I really think it's the instability or the uneven surfaces that contributed to that injury prevention. So I'm a big fan of this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like in the 80s and 90s, someone just said, let's make the opposite of good advice and give it out and tell people that that's how you should do fitness and things. Like you should get a treadmill and just run on that, because then there's no variation and it's just straight and you can just focus on that workout or the times or whatever. And they had these machines where they would isolate all the muscles and I don't know. It's like, how can such bad advice get popular? And we all fall for it too. Nobody knew.
Well, you know what I think it is like there's, and you see it with nutrition too. You see like a study or something that comes out and says like this nutrient or this, sugar is bad for you or whatever, but it doesn't look at natural sugar versus added sugar, or, it doesn't look at high fat, the different types of fat, or how nutrients are absorbed, depending on what it's accompanied with. And so like someone will put out a weight loss drink or a drink or whatever that has high of something and not all this other stuff, but it turns out that other stuff is actually really good when it's paired with whole foods and all this stuff. I mean, I think that it's just like that's still happening, maybe a little less in the fitness space, but it's still very prevalent. And
I mean, I think science is evolving, like all science, right? Like it's reductionism is the problem. People see one little thing and then and maybe the fact that reductionism sells probably. And when it comes to like headlines and gets attention, if you isolate one little thing and say, this is the miracle, or this is the only problem, this is the villain, and then everything is built around that new assumption. When instead you need to back up, look at it holistically, look at outcomes. And I think that's kind of a new thing. I mean, I think this idea that reductionism isn't so good
Yeah.
I mean, I only first learned about it with like in the food world, and that was 15 years ago probably. So I'm sure it's happening in other places before that, but I don't know. It seems like people are more evolving and we're looking more holistically at things.
Yeah.
Getting smarter.
We'll find out in a couple of years.
Yeah. When it swings back and we're going to say, man, we were so stupid when we were doing all that functional fitness and trail running.
People were sitting around watching TV, stretching for an hour a day. Like, come on.
I actually could see that one somehow. We laughed at that one day. All right. And the final one, no big surprise here. The final mistake that is destroying your body after 50 is you're skipping exercise altogether, which I definitely do that now and then. Go through some periods where I don't exercise, but yeah, I mean, you just got to find a way to always be doing it. I think that's really important. Doug, you're a big fan of working it into your lifestyle so that it doesn't necessarily mean, going to the gym or stopping what you're doing to do exercise, but rather it's just part of what you do. Or it's easy to pick up as you go from one activity to another, hop on the gymnastics rings, do an iron cross real quick, and then off to the next social media thing you're going to do. So yeah, I mean, obvious. You gotta be doing something.
Yep. Got to be doing something.
That's right. Good. always be doing.
Oh,
yeah. All right, couple comments here.
Yep, go for it.
Well, okay, I just saw Jeff Hudnall said Matt hates me. He said it several times. I don't think I ever said that. I think this is maybe a joke though.
Yeah, probably you said you don't like something that he does.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Hudnall's a loyal listener.
Who we love and respect.
Definitely.
Don't really know, but
definitely. No, but he's often here. And therefore is respected by me. Someone yesterday whose name I definitely recognized. Oh yeah. So Jeff Hudnall, he was one who I sent. He's a VIP who I personally sent the link to, the updated link. Darren Cordell said, "Never miss a show since day one, but I can never make it live. So this is awesome." So that is awesome. Very cool. Yeah. So Darren, everyone give Darren a shout out in the Discord as a everyday listener. And let's see. Okay. So then back to the comments here. There's some good ones here. There was something about Mr. Jeffrey said some people actually get more tired when they drink coffee. That's a real thing. It can happen depending on your brain chemistry. Scott Mulholland says doctors say, like you said, for the best life online thing is probably similar to when Matt gives the medical advice that makes Doug nervous. I guess he means, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, even I hesitate. I used to would end that by saying we are doctors, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not saying
because we're not doctors. To be clear, we're not doctors. It's not medical advice.
Aisha, I woke up thinking about Aisha today. I thought, where's Aisha been in the past few days? We've been talking about Discord. We've been, carrying on in these shows, and usually she's here chiming in with good down to earth tips, and hasn't been here. So I don't know what happened to Aisha, but she's back. She says, body weight is fine. Building muscle is very important to longevity and quality of life. Yeah, totally. Body weight is part of resistance training. You don't need to add weights by any means. And she agrees with me. Don't go to failure for the most part. Once a month, go for a PR. So Aisha, right in line. Like I said, down to earth, good, solid advice. Does not buy into the hype. I think Aisha probably does some sort of health coaching. I think the whole health experience is her thing. Aisha, you could go in the Discord and put that in the channel that I made for that. You can go offer your services and people might take you up on it because you've delivered value in your comments all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it.
And then she also says that avoiding injury is worth 60 minutes of a week of flexibility. It's less than 10 minutes a day. One clarification, it was 30 to 60 minutes 3 times a week in addition to your other strength stuff. So that's what I was saying was a lot.
Right. So it'd be a 90-minute minimum in a week, which is like 13 minutes a day. That's too much for Doug. That just puts it over the limit.
Yep, absolutely.
10 minutes a day, maybe doable. 13, too much. You're out. Okay, good. And yeah, that's good. I think we got it. We covered the comments.
Jeff asked about progress when deciding on an ultra, and there is progress, but I'm going to save it till later in the week, right? After I pull the trigger. Yep. Got till the end of the week. There's progress. Narrowed it down, had lots of discussions, and thinking. Talk to a few buddies, talk to my wife. So
it's gonna be a real race or a self-styled, race where you push a baby stroller full of your own supplies.
I would be into that.
You already did that.
Push a baby stroller?
Didn't you want to do like the out and back thing from Black Mountain to something else? And I kept joking you were gonna be Dean Karnazes doing Badwater with a grocery cart or whatever.
Yeah. No, I have I have done some of that. Not with a baby stroller, but no, I think it's gonna be a combination of some self-supported adventures and a race, but I will save it till the end of the week once it's all laid out.
Is it gonna be this thing where you do some amazing feat and then you show up at the start line of a race where everyone else is all excited about their accomplishment? And you're gonna be like, "Oh, I just did this, and now I'm jumping in to do this easy thing."
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I do love that. Yeah. I just last week when I ran 300 miles, I'm gonna be a little sore here, so I'm taking it easy.
I had a friend who inspired me a lot with his ultra running, a real life friend, and he I feel like he jumped the shark when he decided he was pacing a marathon, and he ran 25 miles before the marathon that same morning, and then did his pacing job having already run 25 miles, and he couldn't finish. He couldn't keep up. He had to stop.
Oh no. Like he was a pacer,
yeah, he was a pacer.
Oh,
People
come on, dude, that's irresponsible.
I thought. And so he puts in a 50-mile run that day, or tries to, and doesn't work.
That's when you just do it afterwards, after the race.
Right. Yeah. Would have been much better thing to do.
That's funny. I always get a kick out of when people show up to into like a 5K wearing a 100-mile shirt or like a 50-miler shirt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I try to take the opposite approach and show up to a 100-miler and a 5K.
Yeah,
shirt.
I like that. I think it's a good thing to do. Bianca PR'd her half marathon on a 20-mile run. She ran her, I think, I don't know if she did the half first and then 7 more or the opposite way, but she was one of those people. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Congratulations, Bianca.
Steven says, if you watch Family Guy back in the day, Matt is a Sir Buzz Killington. I never watched Family Guy.
I didn't either.
Sounds like a good name though.
Yep.
All right, good. We're done.
All right. Yeah, we'll see everybody in the Discord.
See you in the Discord. New channels already there, and I can add more as needed. So just keep the suggestions coming for anything.
Those new channels aren't showing up for me, so maybe I don't know how it works, but
okay.
Maybe I need to refresh now.
Discord can be finicky. I've noticed sometimes channels just disappear. Weird stuff happens. But... All right. That's it. We'll talk to everybody soon.
Bye.
Goodbye.